Hi everyone, my name is Glenn Ayrton. I am a senior wealth manager here at National Bank Financial Creek Capital Management, coming to you live from our global headquarters at Creek Capital Management down here at 475 Howe Street in Vancouver. So I wanted to put together a very quick video for our clients in light of the recent circumstances that are going on in the Middle East, the escalating war that's happening there. And whenever these types of things happen, there's definitely some concerns from an investment point of view, and we just wanted to get a little bit of a communication out on this to our clients and give you some perspective on it. So often when these type of geopolitical things happen, they can cause short-term volatility. Today in the markets, we're seeing some volatility, and markets don't like uncertainty. And also markets don't like the headlines that come out of these things. But what we have found is that history has shown us that reacting to these types of circumstances in fear by trying to time the market has rarely worked. Whereas in contrast, investors who had stayed invested through these wars and global crises have generally been, rewarded, through the patience that they've had. So what I thought I would do is give you, a few examples historically to put some perspective on this. So, let's go back to World War II, biggest war that's occurred in history. What happened during that period of time in the stock market? Well, initially, after the war started, the markets dropped. And, we had a pretty strong drop in the first year to the end of 1942. However, the markets rebounded. And over the whole period of the war, the 4 years that it was in place, the markets actually had a compounded annual growth over that 4-year period of 16.9%. So extremely strong market. So markets recover long before the conflict was resolved, right? The second one I thought I would talk about is the Gulf War that happened from 1990 to 1991. Markets declined during the build-up to the war, but recovered rapidly once the conflict began. From the start of the Operation Desert Shield in 1990 through the end of 1991, the S&P 500 rose by 29%. So, definitely the uncertainty at the beginning caused a decline, but the clarity of, what happened through the war sparked the recovery. Let's look at 9/11. So not a war, but just a very difficult, geopolitical terrorist event. So right away, the S&P 500 after the attacks dropped 14%. And then within a month, those losses were recovered and the markets went on to post strong long-term gains over the following decade. So, kind of the message there is emotional selling during crises historically lead to missed rebounds. The last one and the most recent one, the one that's still going on, the Russian-Ukraine war that started in 2022 and is still going on, unfortunately. So on the day of the invasion, I know I was surprised when this happened. I remember my kids coming to me going like, how can people do this? They just didn't understand it. But February 24th, 2022, the markets opened sharply lower, but reversed course and finished actually higher that first day. I do remember getting some calls from clients wondering if that was going to lead to a world war. Fortunately, it didn't. And, our advice at that time was to stay invested, and they did. And as a result, they've reaped significant gains. So, a year later, the S&P 500 was actually down a little bit. There was a bear market in 2022 that really ended September 30th. And that was caused more by inflation and aggressive interest rate, reductions, and then subsequent increases because of COVID. It wasn't because of the Ukraine war. That bear market ended September 30th, 2022. And since that time, we've been in a bull market, and we've seen significant gains since the end of that bear market. So, the lesson there, I think, is that fundamentals matter more than the headlines. So, in closing, I just want to say that we're here to answer any questions that you might have. Obviously, these types of things when they happen are concerning, but we want to let you know from an investment point of view, we've organized your portfolios in a way that is defensive and diversified, so that definitely you don't have all your eggs in one basket, and that we can get through these types of situations with less volatility than the markets are going to have, and then look for opportunities to buy low, sell high. So we're here to answer any questions and welcome them should you have any concerns. Thanks for listening, and have a great day.